Are you learning Cisco's networking technologies and want to have hands-on practice but don't have local resources? Then this video is for you. Cisco is offering free online labs that let you practice on all the operating systems like iOS, iOS XE, NXOS, iOS XR, and much more. It also allows you to get hands-on on scripting as well. So if you have heard about Cisco's CML, formerly known as viral, then this is the same stuff. These labs use the viral images. You just need to have a good internet connection and Cisco's AnyConnect VPN client installed on your machine, and you would be able to use it. Let's see how to get this working. You need to connect on devnetsandboxcisco.com website, and once this website's connect, then you would need to log in using your user ID and password. You can log in using any of the authentication methods that are listed here. I would be logging using my Cisco ID. Let's put down the username. And my password. Once you have successfully authenticated, then you would be landing on this page. So this page has all the options available that you can use under your labs. We are specifically going to look at the CML labs, which is Cisco Modeling Labs. So let's scroll down and right here. So here we see two options. One is this one, which is CML version 1.0, and the other is CML version 2.0. So the only difference between CML 1.0 and 2.0 is that CML 1.0 can be booked just for 4 hours at the maximum, and CML version 2.0 can be booked up till 4 days. So once this duration gets over, your config and your lab wipes out, and you will not have access to that lab anymore. So that is the only caveat for these labs, that your configuration goes away after the duration is over. But still, it's a great deal to have hands-on practice done on the viral images. So let's reserve this lab, which is version 2.0. I'll just click on reserve. When you click on reserve, you see a schedule over here. If you click on this edit button, it allows you to select the duration. If you want to start it from now, you can keep it as now. If you have any specific settings, let's say you want to start it from tomorrow, but you want to reserve it now, you can do that as well. So I'll be starting it from now, and over here you can see the duration, the end time of the lab. So under version 1.0, you will just see 4 hours that you can keep, but if you look at here, you'll see that you can keep it up to for 4 days. I'm just going to keep it for 4 hours. That's it, and I'm going to hit on reserve. So once this lab is reserved, it will take some time to set up. So over here you can see it shows us the setup estimated time is 9 minutes. And once your lab is ready to be used, then you also get an email from Cisco stating that your lab is ready and you can use it. So it's going to take approximately 8 minutes. In the meantime, I'll just share you the information about what's being shown on the left hand side. So it just shows you about the default lab which they're going to provide you, and it's showing the topology of that lab. You can also create your own custom lab uh, using in the way you want, or you can also go with the default one. If you go under the network devices, it's going to give you the credentials, the IP addresses associated with the default lab. But if you're creating a custom lab, these are going to be no use of. So I'll pause the video and I'll resume it once the lab is up and I get an email from Cisco. So the setup has been completed now and the lab is active over here. If I go to my email box, then I should have received email from Cisco stating the details about the labs. So as you can see here, it provides me the information regarding my username and password to get access to the lab. And it also provides me the URL that I need to connect using my Cisco's AnyConnect VPN client. I have already installed the VPN client on my machine. If you don't have it, you can use these links to download it and then use it. So let's quickly open up the Cisco's AnyConnect software and connect to the URL. So I'll just do a copy paste from here, hit connect. So it remembers my username from the past. I'll be just providing the password and hit OK. So once this is connected, let's go back to the sandbox page over here. And if you look on this details, so it says that after you have established a VPN connection, we need to connect to this address with the following credentials. So the credential which we use from the email, those are just to connect to the VPN connection, but to connect to a server, these are the details which we need to use. It might happen that once you connect to the VPN, your internet connection drops. That's normal. So in that case, you would just need to disconnect and reconnect your VPN connection. So let's look if my VPN is connected. Yep, so my VPN is connected now, so I can access the server IP. So let's go on 10.10.21.61. So I'll just do HTTPS to this IP, and this is giving me a warning of self-signed certificate. We can ignore that and we'll just proceed to the so as I said, this is normal because your internet connection drops in between when you're first connecting to the VPN, but it gets settled eventually. So let me reload this. All right, so it's asking me for username. The username is developer. Password, I'll just copy and paste. So after the successful authentication, you'll see a default lab over here for which the topology can be found here. So this is the topology which they are using with default addressing scheme and the protocols. So if you go here, this is topology. But as we don't want to use this, we are going to create a custom one. So let's go into the lab manager. This takes you to the home page where you landed. And let's stop all the devices under this lab. This is just to stabilize the load of the lab so that you can create your own custom lab. So as this stops, we'll click on add lab to create a custom one. You can name it anything you want. I'll just name it as test and click on it. On the right hand side, you'll see all the options or all the operating system that can be used. So this also gives you an opportunity to have a end host like Ubuntu or a desktop that can be used in order to test the connectivity. And over here you can see all the images like your iOS VL2, your layered switch, your NX OS. This uses your Titanium image. NXOS 9000, you have ASV, you have CSR 1000V, you have iOS V, which is your L3 iOS, you have iOS XRV. And this platform also allows you to practice on SD-WAN, which is pretty cool. So I'll just create a topology using iOS V. So you just need to drag it from the left-hand side into the workspace. And in order to have the connection, once you hover your mouse on the device, you need to click on this blue icon and just drag it to the device on which you want to have the connection. So this will ask you the interfaces you want to use for this connection. I'll simply use gig 0x0 on both the interfaces, and I'll click on play. So this will start your routers. Let's close this up. And this symbol will open up the console connection for you. So you just need to click on open console. And to make this size appropriate, just click on auto over here. So this will give you a proper workspace to work on. Likewise, I'll open console for the other router as well. So these routers are booting now, and I'll pause the video until this boot is completed, and I'll resume it once they're up. Alright, so the router is up. It's asking me if I want to have the initial configuration dialog, to which I'll say no. Let's see the other router as well. Even here I'll say no. Alright, so the router is up. Let's go in global config mode. Let's change the host name. So your configuration commands remain same, nothing changes. So that's why this is a great opportunity to have hands-on practice done. Let's configure port gig 00. Let's give it an IP address. And I'll do a no shut. If I say show IP interface brief, so it's showing up the IP address. Let's go on the other router. Let's change the host name. Let's go into the interface 10.1.1.2. No shut. Show IP interface brief. This is up. Let's try and ping 10.1.1.1, and we are able to ping. So this is how simple it is to set up this lab, and then you can create your own custom topologies. You can have a firewall in between. You can have NXOS. You can have VPCs on NXOS, and even you can practice on SD-WAN. There are just few things we need to remember. First is your configs are not getting saved. So you'll not have access to this lab once your lab duration is over, and you'll have to recreate your lab. Second is that there is a possibility that there are already many users who have requested the lab for a particular duration, and you would not be able to reserve the lab for that particular duration. So you might need to change your access duration if you're not able to book it. So that's it from this video. I think this has been informative, and you would enjoy practicing labs on the CML platform. Thank you.